Mikey, Mikey, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. Whoop.
Day 2, we're getting ready for you.
Welcome back, boxing fans and enthusiasts. Today we're plunging headfirst into a whirlwind of controversy that's been shaking the very foundations of the boxing world. Picture this: the legendary pugilist Mike Tyson steps out of retirement for an exhibition match against Jake Paul. This isn't an average bout. The clash is set for the 20th of July at the 90,000-seat AT&T Stadium in Texas. Don't let the term exhibition mislead you though. Tyson has emphasized that despite being an exhibition, the match will be as fierce as any real fight, far from a friendly sparring session. The gloves may weigh 16 ounces, there may be no judges to score the rounds, but rest assured, every punch thrown will have a sting. Tyson, now at 58, is preparing to square off with Paul, who boasts of 9 wins and just 1 loss. Curious about the peculiar rules Tyson has disclosed for this? Hold your horses, we're getting to that. The major rule. The Tyson vs. Paul matchup is governed by a significant regulation, brought to you directly by Iron Mike himself. This isn't your routine boxing showdown, and Tyson's matches are always something unexpected. This occasion is no different, with Tyson's rule revolving around the boxing gloves used and the absence of judges. Yes, you heard it right. Tyson has declared that the fighters will be sporting 16-ounce gloves and no judges will be present to score the individual rounds. If you're not well versed with boxing gear, 16-ounce gloves are the heaviest frequently used in boxing, providing more cushioning, more safety, and thereby reducing the chances of injury. However, they demand more effort to swing and could potentially slow down the punches. What does this imply for the showdown? It could mean numerous things. Firstly, Tyson might find an advantage as he's accustomed to fighting with heavy gloves and his ability to knock out is legendary.
As the big right hand lands, Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele...
Even with the additional weight, he can still land a punch that resonates. On the contrary, Jake Paul, who's more familiar with fighting MMA stars and beginner boxers with lighter gloves, might have to modify his strategy. He will have to adapt to the new glove weight and discern how to use it to his benefit. The absence of judges clearly showcases Tyson considering this as a severe match. The only means to secure a victory is by knockout or technical knockout, with no points to earn or rounds to win. It's purely about the strength and the punch making the fight more extreme and exciting. Each fighter will be required to aim for the knockout, being aggressive and taking risks. There's no room for a safe play, especially in this match. What does this mean for Jake Paul? He's facing one of the most renowned knockout artists in boxing history, where a knockout is the only way to secure a victory. He'll need to bring out his top performance and discover a method to counter Tyson's power. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Tyson has more tricks up his sleeve. Tyson, the titan of the boxing world, didn't cease at rulemaking. He made a declaration that's left most thunderstruck. In an unexpected twist, the man renowned for his ring fierceness confessed to feeling trepidation ahead of his exhibition match with Jake Paul. This isn't an ordinary admission. We're speaking of Mike Tyson, a man who's become a byword for fearlessness. However, let's not rush to conclusions. Tyson's fear confession isn't a hint of weakness or doubt about the bout. Instead, it underscores his realistic approach and the esteem he holds boxing. No matter how seasoned or skilled a pugilist is, there's always a degree of nervousness when stepping into the ring. It's part of the sport, and Tyson's unafraid to acknowledge it. Simultaneously, despite acknowledging this fear, Tyson also reaffirms his belief in his invincibility. He's certain that his fear will manifest into the zeal and power that have cemented his legacy in boxing. Is it not a captivating paradox? Fear and invincibility concurrently. This mix of doubt and assurance is what makes Tyson's declaration so unforeseen and captivating. Now, how will this impact the match and, more importantly, influence Jake Paul's tactics? Will Paul view Tyson's admission as a weakness? Or will he interpret it as a psychological warfare set to unsettle him? After all, it takes courage to admit fear, particularly for a figure such as Mike Tyson. Ultimately, Tyson's unpredictable disclosure adds another dimension of intricacy to the forthcoming fight. It's no longer a simple matter of strength or skill. It's also about who's superior at managing fear and leveraging it. It's about mental fortitude, tenacity, and the capability to convert vulnerabilities into strengths. So what do these revelations imply for the match and for Jake Paul? Time will tell, but one certainty remains. This bout is gearing up to be more riveting and unpredictable than we could have ever foreseen. The impact. Tyson's fundamental regulation and startling declaration might just alter the trajectory for Jake Paul. There's a tangible electric energy in the boxing sphere as the momentous showdown between the eminent Mike Tyson and the emerging sensation Jake Paul draws nearer. The core rule established by Tyson and his unforeseen announcement have indeed thrown more wood on the fire. Now let's examine the prospective implications of these disclosures on Jake Paul's tactics and the eventual result of the combat. First and foremost, Tyson's demand for the match to be an exhibition,
This is called an exhibition.
albeit a serious one, could substantially change the dynamics of the match. Jake Paul, primarily recognized for his fights against MMA celebrities and relatively amateur pugilists, is now up against a boxing giant who, regardless of his years, is not to be downplayed. This regulation might compel Paul to reconsider his strategy and perhaps pay more attention to his defensive play. Tyson's startling declaration of fear, despite his belief in his invincibility, is a demonstration of his unyielding spirit. It's a nudge that fear isn't a manifestation of fragility, but a trigger for progression. This could be an instructive moment for Paul, who may confront his own apprehensions as he steps onto the platform with Tyson. It's beyond just physical power, but mental resilience that determines the winner in the ring. The weight of Tyson's declarations might also create a domino effect on Paul's prior record. With a 9-1 score, which again is primarily against MMA celebrities and entry-level pugilists, Paul has exhibited his capabilities, but Tyson is an entirely different entity. This might be the pivotal moment for Paul, an opportunity to demonstrate his worth against a boxing icon. Tyson's declarations could pose a challenge to Paul, spurring him to enhance his game and possibly come out on top. The conclusion of the bout is still uncertain. We have a boxing idol who, in spite of his anxiety, trusts his invincibility. And then there's the emerging star, who stands at the brink of making history. Tyson's fundamental regulation and startling declaration have indeed laid the groundwork for a sensational face-off. As we draw nearer to the fight day, these disclosures could just be the trigger for an unforgettable match. The influence of Tyson's declarations extends beyond the ring. They not only shape the tactics for the impending bout, but also ignite a discussion about fear, bravery, and the authentic spirit of boxing. As the countdown to the match commences, these words will resonate in the minds of both fighters, potentially molding their strategies and their performance in the ring. As we hold our breath for this greatly anticipated match, Tyson's words leave us with a lot to contemplate. That's all we've got for you today, boxing enthusiasts. Stay tuned for more expert analysis and updates from the boxing floor. We'll see you in the next one.